Hi all, this is going to be a very short video. It's a detailed summary of the allegations and charges against the Adani Green Energy and Azure Power, which has been released by the SEC and the American authorities. In terms of a summary of the allegations, basically the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has charged Adani Green Energy Limited and Azure Power Global Limited with engaging in bribery schemes involving Indian state governments to secure power purchase agreements, or PPAs, for large-scale renewable energy projects totaling 12 gigawatts. The core allegations against Adani are centered on false disclosures made during fundraising in US capital markets, where the company claimed it had never paid bribes. The allegations highlight systematic corruption and coordination between companies and politicians, leaving a detailed trail of evidence. So let's quickly look at the sequence of events starting from 2020, which involves the SECI. The SECI is basically a central government entity, and preliminarily it awarded 8 gigawatts of solar projects to Adani Green and 4 gigawatts to Azure Power in 2020. However, these awards were conditional upon state discoms signing agreements to purchase the power at agreed tariffs. This is where it becomes interesting. Initially, the discoms were reluctant due to the high tariffs, delaying the finalizations of the awards. And then in 2021 and 2022, what happened? So between July 2021 and February 2022, Adani executives orchestrated bribery schemes to influence state governments to sign the required PPAs. The key state is Andhra Pradesh. It was a very important state for the Adani Group, with bribes amounting to 1,750 crores in Indian rupees paid to secure 7 GWs of PPAs, 2.3 GW for Azure and the rest for Adani. The other set of bribes total around 279 crores in Indian rupees. It was distributed to officials in states which includes Tamil Nadu, which had DMK in power, Odisha, which had BJD in power, Chhattisgarh, which had Congress, and Jammu and Kashmir was in central rule. Next, we look at the signing of the PPAs in 2021. In December 2021, Andhra Pradesh signed a PPA for 7 GW of solar projects. Other states followed, with Azure securing 650 megawatts and Adani securing the remainder of the capacity. Exact amounts are unspecified as of now. In terms of Azure's share of bribes, Azure was responsible for paying 500 crores of the Andhra bribe and 55 crores for other states. The payment modalities between Azure and Adani were also being discussed, leaving a trail of incriminating evidences via emails, WhatsApp chats, Excel files, and even PowerPoint presentations. It's very interesting to see that the indictment says that the defendants used smartphones to send documents that keep track of the bribes. That itself is surprising. What's more surprising is, how did the US have access to communication within India? Because it could probably be that the US dominates all the hardware and software capabilities for telecom infrastructure. You talk about Cisco, you talk about Amazon, you talk about various other cloud providers and email systems. You talk about Gmail, and then WhatsApp being a messenger service as well. So what happens in 2022? You talk about the SEC investigation. The SEC began investigating the case in early 2022 after uncovering documentation of the bribery scheme, including evidence of electronic communications and call recordings. The Azure global executives admitted that Adani was involved in bribing politicians. Due to disagreements over payment modalities and pressure from the SEC investigation, Azure Global relinquished its 2.3 gigawatt share of the Andhra Pradesh PPA to Adani. Despite this project being worth billions, Azure cited weak economics and legal uncertainties as reasons. Azure also gave up smaller contracts totaling 650 megawatts, likely to avoid further scrutiny from the SEC. Now let's take a look at what kind of evidences that the SEC claims it has. Remember, these are all allegations as of now and nothing has been proven in court. So in terms of electronic communication, WhatsApp images, WhatsApp messages, emails, call recordings revealed the coordination between Adani Green and Azure over the bribery payments. They also claim to have found Excel sheets, Excel files, PowerPoint presentations which outlined the payment structure that were involved in paying off the bribes. And of course, we also have certain Azure officials who have themselves admitted that Adani was widely involved in bribing Indian politicians to secure the respective contracts. Azure's unexplained surrender of the lucrative contracts that we just spoke about has also raised suspicions about their involvement in the bribery scheme. So what could be the possible ramifications or the impact on the Adani Group? Adani Green and potentially the broader Adani Group itself could face restrictions on raising funds in the US market, severely impacting their growth plans reliant on foreign debt. This would definitely increase borrowing costs and limit access to crucial foreign exchange funding in future if the allegations are proven to be true. While the SEC can also look at seizing Adani's US-based assets, this is unlikely to affect the group significantly, because I do not think that they have a lot of assets, and I think it's pretty limited when it comes to the US and the jurisdiction. The scandal could, of course, damage the group's reputation globally, ending investor confidence in both domestic and international markets, and you're definitely going to see the ramifications or the domino effect in the Indian stock market. From a political standpoint, I think the bribery allegations span across multiple states, highlighting the systemic corruption at both the state and the central levels. Congress and its allies, especially like the ones in DMK, must stop once and for all blaming BJP alone for being pally with large corporates. Everyone does this, as the allegations show. Andhra Pradesh, which was ruled by YSRCP, they have allegedly received 1,750 crores of bribe for the large 7 GW PPAs that were signed. And the documents also prove that it is someone very, very senior at the government level, and it could even be at the highest of levels in the Andhra Pradesh government back then. In Tamil Nadu, it was the DMK which swept into power in May 2021, and this overall exchange of bribes took place after that. So you're talking about a total of 279 crores in Indian rupees, which have been shared among states, which includes Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and even Jammu and Kashmir. To explain in simple terms what these bribery charges mean, specifically for the Indian discoms, which has got nothing to do with the SEC or Adani or the American enterprise, let's take the example of Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu's state-owned discom is called the TANGEDCO, which is the Tamil Nadu Generation and Distribution Corporation, and it has registered a loss of around 9,192 crores for the year 2022 and 2023, which was in fact 60 crores more in terms of losses than the previous year. And all these things happened despite increasing the tariffs for public power consumption. Now, after coming back to power in May 2021, the DMK-backed TANGEDCO is alleged to have taken bribes to in fact buy more expensive power from Adani by the SEC. So now on one end, the people are actually paying more to handle the losses of the TANGEDCO, and on the other hand, TANGEDCO actually accepted bribes to purchase more expensive power from Adani Group. It's also very important to understand that Tamil Nadu had recently signed large deals with Adani, including an MOU in Jan 2024 to invest 42,700 crores in Tamil Nadu alone. Odisha has received bribes for 500 megawatts of power capacity. Chhattisgarh, their number of bribes and the projects involved are currently undisclosed, and it is the same with Jammu Kashmir as well. So to conclude, I think it's important that the SEC charges against Adani Green and Azure Power expose a very large-scale bribery scheme to manipulate state governments and secure renewable energy projects in India. While the core allegations involve false disclosures in US capital markets and not actually any kind of bribes handed over to the American counterparts, the case also highlights pervasive corruption in India's energy sector, which is really growing as of this moment. If proven, these charges could have consequences for the Adani Group's financial operations, global reputations, and growth trajectory. Now, the question is, do Indians need to take this seriously? I think, personally, I feel we need to treat every case based on the merits and demerits that are involved. It's easy to brush this off as a deep state activity and stake claim for nationalistic and jingoistic tones in defending Adani, like what happened last time during the Hindenburg revelations, where back then I also questioned that it's okay if it's an Indian company, but I think that case too should be dealt with in terms of the merits and demerits it had. And I'm holding a similar stance here. It's important to understand that if proven, this is going to be bad for the Indian business and the stock market in general. Also, it's not like other firms globally don't do this. Every multinational large corporations across the world, including the ones we have in India, do indulge in different forms of lobbying at some point or the other. But none have been as bad as Adani in recent times. I think all of you would agree with this.